Welcome to the Queerty interview. My name is Alex Dreamer, and we are thrilled to be talking today to Stormy Daniels. We loved season 1 for the Love of DILFs on Queerty. Big hit, as DILF content usually is, and you as well. What can we expect in season 2?
Okay, so season 2, in my opinion, is so much better than season 1. First of all, we kind of ironed out all the kinks, or added some kinks, depending on how you... pun intended. Basically, the training wheels are off. The awkwardness of the first date is off. Right. And you have to keep in mind that I think contestants were not really sure what they were signing up for the first time. The diversity in the contestants is better. Keep in mind, anybody who came on this season could have watched the first one. The connections in this one are so different because right out the gate, like there were some instant pairings and I was like, this is going to go this way. And then this is going to go this way. And then when they didn't, I had some really visceral reactions. I got to tell you, the first time around, I didn't really know what to expect. And I was really kind of focused on, the show as itself, my job as a host, because I had never done this before. So since I was so comfortable in my role, I was able to sort of really pay attention and watch how these couples interacted. And my bullshit detector radar was up, who was there for the right reasons and who wasn't. And plus I have a whole nother year of being just put through the ringer on a personal level. So right. I take some of these people wasting time and opportunities and chances at love more personal maybe than I should. And so there's a couple of instances where Stormy gets a little stormy as well. Yeah, and I was going to ask about
a scene that was sent over during episode 2. You're telling a very emotional story. Everyone's on the patio out there, the back deck, and you tell a really, I think, emotional story about how you met your daddy when you were 19 years old, right? In the deep connection you have with him. And I see that scene, and I saw you interact last year, and I said, wow, it's apparent that this show really speaks to you. Why is that?
If you had told me that a gay reality dating show was going to be what spoke to my heart, but in the grand scheme of the life of Stormy, it's not the weirdest thing I've done, right?
and as I mentioned, our audience loves you. They love the show. I'm wondering what you've learned from the gay community, from being around them your whole life, and obviously the last couple seasons in this kind of environment.
What I've always known is how innovative and brave the gay community is. Like somehow overcome such difficult things and do it beautifully. And with a lot of times, and if not always with grace, at least with pizzazz. What I didn't expect that I learned from the gay community, and most recently, is how supportive they are of each other and how much they have stood behind me and rallied behind me and triumphed and lifted me up. They come from a marginalized place where their beliefs, their sexuality, their careers have been used against them to make them feel or treat it less than human. And that's what I've been going through lately. And I didn't realize how much I would identify with that community. Working on the show, the thing that I learned is how open and willing these daddies and himbos on the show were to have serious conversations. The people that I know in straight relationships and even straight marriages that are decades long still don't have it. I'm talking about conversations about body positivity, consent, and even pleasure. Let me tell you, like, these men on this show sat down with no judgment and had these open communication, difficult conversations, things that triggered them, things that they liked, things that they didn't like, where their boundaries were, where their limits were, and the other person didn't get offended. They didn't care, like, oh, blah blah blah. Like, it was such a genuine, open-hearted conversation that I witnessed out the gate. And I was like, so many problems could be solved so easily. You're anti-abortion? We'll have a real conversation about how you don't make babies. Problem solved. You know what I mean? I have so many friends, women particularly, in hetero marriages, like straight marriages, for like decades, haven't talked to their husband about how they like their vagina touched. I think that watching the himbos and daddies on this show just shred those taboos and those judgmental feelings about conversations, just inspiring. And I hope that my straight fans who watch the show just because they want to look at my titties take a page away from conversation.
I do have to ask, speaking of DILFs, would Don Jr. qualify as a DILF in your mind?
Absolutely not. We just talked to it. It had to be with mindset.
How about Eric?
None of them.
None of them?
Because let's keep in mind that the first letter for DILF is daddy, and
Yes.
I don't want to think about any of them procreating anymore in any fashion, even if it's just in play.
We don't need any more of that. Okay, so
None of that.
The Trump sons, not DILFs. Sorry, guys. But do want to ask too. I mean, few people have the kind of insight into their father that you do, and we are just wondering, what do you think is going through his head right now as he faces these 4 major court cases and all of this potential prison time?
I don't know. Like me and my husband were just having this conversation, and it's like, is he just completely oblivious and losing it? Because if I were him, I would have disappeared by now. I would have tried to escape. I mean, I would be literally my pants or like having crazy anxiety. Or is this all some elaborate plan to lay the most epic of epic insanity plea that you've ever seen?
I mean, that's the reason why that we can't step away. He just loves the limelight, right? Like he can't go into exile.
I can't wrap my head around it. We talk about this a lot. We're like, what if he's actually gearing up to just pretend like he didn't remember, like some crazy insanity plea, or if he's got so much money he's in cahoots with Elon, and he's preparing to be shot into space so that we can't catch him. Like every crazy scenario you can think of, we have discussed, and the up part, Alex, is that at some point I'm like, well, at this point, anything is possible.
It's most certainly is. I also wanted to ask that if you saw Melania right now, what would you say to her?
I would say blink once, if you're okay, and twice if you need help, but she's already so squinty, I probably couldn't tell the difference.
Who gets a Stormy Daniels endorsement for president in 2024?
Oh my God, there's nobody.
Nobody?
I heard the other day that Dwayne Johnson might run, so let's just go with that.
What is next, though, for you, Stormy, and as we look ahead to this year, 2024?
A couple months away from shooting season 3 for the Love of DILFs. I think they're just wrapping up the casting process now, which I'm very excited about. Although I'm convinced Topher and Artie won't show me the good nudes that I'm sure they're getting. They say they don't get them. I swear they do. They won't share them. My new podcast, it just came out. It's called Beyond the Norm. You can get it on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's everywhere. And then watch season 2 for the Love of DILFs, airing in January. Got another big secret that I'll just let out. I have a documentary coming this spring.
Wow. That's huge news.
Very big.
That's exciting. Can you tell us anything more?
I don't want to say the name in case they change it because it's still in pre-production. But it will be on Peacock.
Okay. Stormy Daniels. Look for her. 24 on Peacock. Love it. Stormy, thanks for the time.